What's up? What is up? YouTube, how y'all doing, man? I thought this was a very interesting video right here. How much YouTube paid for 1,000 subscribers? I want to see if it's close to what my income is for 1,000 subscribers. Right after this intro, let's check it out.
Growth's got a formula most never learn. You don't need luck or talent, structure is earned. If you're ready to build and you know it's your turn, start with the 4 free videos, earn as you learn. Click on the more below to sign up.
That's right, click on the link to sign up for my 4 free videos to give you like a bird's eye view of everything and why you should start a YouTube channel. And this is the same effect it had on me. But check this out, man. Let's get into this video right here. I'm trying to see how much, I don't know how much YouTube paid for 1,000 subscribers, but let's find out. Let's check it out.
I did not make life-changing money on YouTube in 2025.
Neither did most of the creators in today's video. I went through the real revenue numbers of all of these channels to figure out what was actually going on. Because here's what's strange. One creator with 2 million views made less money than a creator with 19,000 views. And what's even more wild is that a creator with 1,200 subscribers made $18,000, while a creator with double that made $71. And that's exactly why I'm making this video today, because whenever you watch these videos of people saying, I made this much money as a small channel in this amount of time, the numbers are always wildly different, and I wanted some answers. Before we get into the numbers here, let me just explain 2 concepts that you need to know so you understand all the nuances about how money moves around on YouTube. First, it's the difference between CPM and RPM, and this is pretty simple. Let's say it costs an advertiser $100 to put an ad on your video, which is not a realistic number, but I just want to work with a nice round number here. The $100 is the CPM. That's how much it costs the advertiser. You get $55 because that's the cut YouTube shares with creators. That's the RPM. Cost per milli, revenue per milli. It's pretty simple. The second thing you need to know is that YouTube has 2 different levels of monetization. The first is unlocked when you hit 500 subscribers and 3,000 hours of watch time. And when you unlock this level of monetization, you're not earning ads just yet, but you can do things like start up a YouTube membership program and have super chats, super thanks, things like that. But once you hit 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time, that is when you hit YouTube AdSense, and you will start getting money from the YouTube ad campaigns that run all across the platform. And just a quick note, those 4,000 hours.
Jesus, boy, he's moving so fast. I'm trying to make this for beginners. So let me give him 2 notches of slowing down. And that's interesting. 500 subscribers, and then you can start, we do a lot of lives and people can do a super chat or donate or whatever the case may be. I never knew that. Only thing I know is 1,000 subscribers and 1,000 watch hours. Here we go.
And 4,000 hours of watch time. That is when you hit YouTube AdSense, and you will start getting money from the YouTube ad campaigns that run all across the platform. And just a quick note, those 4,000 hours have to come from long form videos or live streams. They can't come from shorts. So with that out of the way, now we can get into your first practical tip that has to do with those requirements. Eva had been building her channel for over a year. She was consistent, she was growing, and then one day she hit her monetization requirements. She applied, she got approved, and then nothing.
Signing up for YouTube AdSense and the YouTube Partner Program took me a little bit longer than I expected. You have to wait about 3 weeks to get a code from them in the mail that lets you finalize your AdSense sign up.
3 weeks because of a letter. And her videos are sitting there, approved for monetization, but earning no money. So here's advice from someone who lived it.
Once you reach 500 subscribers and 3,000 watch hours, I would sign up for the YouTube Partner Program then and get approved and get your AdSense all in order so that when you hit 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers, you will immediately be able to start collecting that money and get your payout.
Try not to leave weeks of earnings sitting there.
She sound like she took my YouTube growth formula, because I teach people that in the growth formula. That's crazy.
In the ether, just because of an envelope. Maybe sort that out as early as you can. But okay. How much money does YouTube actually pay creators? This is a question that I'm sure Google is tired of answering by now. Our first real life example today is Jess and Dave. They're a Canadian travel couple who quit their jobs to travel to Southeast Asia and document their journey on YouTube. In their first 6 months after being monetized, they were posting 1 video every 4 days, and they made $1,716 Canadian, which is roughly $1,200 US. Not life-changing money, but real, consistent, and steadily growing. But here's something that 1,700 Canadian Canadian dollars won't tell you. Not all views are created equal. And this comes down to something creators really don't think about a lot. Where in the world are your views actually coming from? Kinetic Passports proved exactly why. They're a travel channel very similar to Jess and Dave, and they had a video about their experience in Cairo, Egypt. It blew up. For them, that meant 15,000 views, which is no small moment for a channel of this size. However,
even though we're higher in our view count and watch time hours, because most of the viewers on that video are from Egypt, the RPM is lower. I believe we're just over $2 for RPM on that video. And that's why this month's earnings look pretty similar to June, even though all of the other parameters would indicate, you know, a higher earning for the month.
So practically speaking, what does this mean for you? It doesn't mean that you should pretend that only the US or Western audience exists. That would be a mistake. It does mean though that if you feel like you have healthy view counts on your channel and your earnings still feel suspiciously low, it probably has something to do with geography. We're going to talk more about that in a little bit because not only can this vary from channel to channel, but RPMs can fluctuate video to video. Before we get there though, I want to talk about something that can be very confusing to a lot of creators, especially when it comes to making money on YouTube, and that is the difference between short form and long form, specifically the thing nobody warns you about. Now, by now, everybody knows that YouTube Shorts don't pay nearly as much as long form videos, but exactly how much less are we talking? Well, let's start with Adriel. In October 2025, he had a moment that every small creator dreams about.
But I had one short that went ultra viral. It was a short about flying Singapore Suites first class, and you can see this purple line here showing that video jumping way up. For the month, I got just under 2 million views and 18,000 watch hours, and I gained over 3,000 subscribers.
2 million views. And for context, that's more views than most creators will get on a single video during their entire YouTube career.
However, since it was a short form video, not a long form video, even though I got way more views, the money paid out was still less because the payout rate for a short is not as high as a long form video.
Want to see exactly how much less? Over 1.8 million views, estimated revenue, $197. If we do the math, that works out to about 11 cents per 1,000 views. And here's the proof. This orange line.
Wow. When they said $1 million, I thought he was going to say at least $1,000 or something. Wow. Nah, are you serious?
Even though I got way more views, the money paid out was still less because the payout rate for a short is not as high as a long form video.
Want to see exactly how much less? Over 1.8 million views, estimated
1.8 million. He got 1.9 right now. Watch time is 18,000. I'm trying to tell you, see, that number is low. You got 1 million views, but you got 18,000 watch hours. I don't understand that. Estimated revenue says 500. Is this impressions? What is this? What we looking at? What are we looking at here? Because this say $500 is estimated revenue, but at the bottom you got 18,000. Okay, maybe this is the one he talking about. 100. Okay, let's go.
Revenue, $197. If we do the math, that works out to about 11 cents per 1,000 views. And here's the proof. This orange line is a single long form video titled The Real Cost to Build a House in 2025. It's 20 minutes long. It got almost 93,000 views, which is a long way from 2 million, but it earned him $727. That makes the RPM on this video $7.83 per 1,000 views. Compare that to the short that made 11 cents per 1,000 views, and we're looking at a video that made 71 times more money with 20 times fewer views. And before you think, well, that's just one channel, I want you to meet Paul Stingray. He runs a gardening channel in Australia, and here's what happened in a single 48-hour window.
I've got 1,436 views. Most of those are shorts views, so I got 619 long form video views and 816 short form views. So technically you're only really going to be making money, well, enough to actually notice on the long form views.
And what does that look like in actual dollars? Well, he breaks that down video by video.
So my top video was growing corn in pots. Now in 7 days it got 1,700 views, so roughly about 4,000 views, and it would have got about 48 cents. Yes, terribly exciting, a whole 48 cents. Now, my long form views, growing lotus from seed, roughly that would have got about 1,400 views, and it's made $14.96. So a little bit better than the shorts views. So if that short was a long form view, we'd be making a lot more money about now.
4,000 shorts views for 48 cents versus 1,400 long form views for $14.96.
See, here's another thing that people are not telling you. You got to think of it like this, y'all. Even a long form view, the view from a long form, if you got an hour-long video and somebody views the first 5 to 10 seconds, then they leave, you don't get that watch time. Even with a short form view, if somebody was to, they scrollers. So somebody scroll past your video and they watch your 1 minute long, 30-second long video, they only watch for 10 seconds. That's counted as a view. So they keep on going. So this is how you get 1 million people that came past for a split second and say, I thought I liked this. Here we go. Let's keep going. You have to think like the human being. Don't think about an algorithm. Think what the human being wants to see. If they stop, you got a good thumbnail, you done got them in the beginning, then they say, oh man, that's Uncle Mike. Let me keep going. You got to think how the viewer thinks.
That's the same pattern. It's less than a third of the
Here we go.
About now.
4,000 shorts views for 48 cents versus 1,400 long form views for $14.96. That's the same pattern. It's less than a third of the views and 30 times more money. But if you want the single most devastating number for this entire video, let's take a look again at Jess and Dave. They posted shorts consistently alongside their long form content for 6 full months. In their own words,
we had posted a few shorts over this time, but the revenue from that was pretty negligible, earning us a whopping 62 cents over the 6 months.
So here's the verdict. Even though shorts make a little more money than they used to, they are still nowhere near a stable revenue stream. They might bring you some new eyeballs, but you're not going to be writing your meal ticket with them. So if shorts are not the answer to making a living on YouTube, then what does it come down to? Well, in one word, inventory. Not all viewers are worth the same amount of money to YouTube, unfortunately. The niche you're in determines how much money an advertiser is going to pay YouTube for advertising on your content. Think of YouTube niches like a leaderboard. On the top end, you have the channels that advertisers are willing to fight each other over. And on the lower end, you have the channels that they barely notice. So using the data that has been provided by all the creators we're looking at today, I've gone ahead and set up the 2026 YouTube RPM tier list. Keep in mind, these numbers are going to shift around based on season and where viewers live, but this is the current map of the money. In the D tier, we have gardening, and Paul Stingray is going to be our benchmark. In his first 2 weeks of being monetized across all of his videos, he made $36.92 Australia. That's roughly $24 in US at the time of recording. And remember, this is the same channel that got 4,000 shorts views and only earned 48 cents. Long form helps, but if you're in this niche, hopefully you're doing it for the love of the craft, because it doesn't feel like AdSense is where it should be. In the C tier is going to be the fitness niche, and for that we're going to look at a channel like Justin Lai, who after 11 months of being monetized made a total of $796.68. His RPM ranged from $2 on his muscle up video all the way to $6 on his marathon content. As far as this list goes, fitness does sit a rung higher than gardening, but it is on the lower half of the spectrum, and in a little bit we'll get back into that $2 and $6 difference between those videos. But next is the B tier. I'm going to call the B tier our wild card because we're going to be looking at travel channels, and travel channels are just notoriously inconsistent. As we already discussed, geography can very much determine your RPM, and it really just comes down to where your viewers are watching from. You have Kinetic Passports, who made $87.36 in their first 2 months. You have Eva, who made $433 Canadian in 9 months, despite barely posting. And then Jess and Dave, our most data-rich channel. They averaged a $6.77 RPM across their first 6 months for a grand total of $1,716 Canadian. So while the potential in this niche can be pretty high, there's just too many factors to account for when it comes to travel. It just really depends on what part of the world you're focusing on. And now we get to the A tier, which is pretty interesting because this niche is going to surprise you. Kids and family. In essence, is a kids channel. They started back in August of 2023 and they were monetized by November. How much money do you think they made?
My first YouTube paycheck was $957.18. I know, right? And keep in mind, This is me as a new YouTuber, first time, just started this page 6 months ago, children's page. Wasn't sure what I was doing, but I was just doing it. And I made close to $1,000. I would say that's pretty good for a journey to passive income.
For a brand new channel, that's a really strong number.
Very
so I'm putting
strong.
in essence in the A tier, because at least with the way they're approaching kids content, this is a pretty high potential niche. However, they will tell you themselves that seasonality plays a role here.
If you gonna start your channel, try and get it started like now. It's February currently when I'm making this video, so that by December time, you can put out your Christmas content, and then you can see that step up.
The holiday bump is a real thing, basically for every niche on YouTube, so that is something to look out for. An even stronger niche, though, still remaining in the A tier, is going to be filmography and photography. First up, we'll look at Tracy Flynn's channel. She's from New Zealand and covers photography and creative businesses, and she made $86.99 Australian in her first month. And then you have Dallas and Jill. They're a Canadian filmmaking channel with a CPM ranging from $15 to $42 per 1,000 views. The upper end of that gets into some really serious money, and in a little bit we're going to explore the spikes that happen within different niches. But then we get into the S tier, and if you looked at different YouTube niches in the past to determine how much makes the most money, this probably won't surprise you. At the top end of the spectrum, you have Adriel from earlier in the video. He breaks down his entire 2025 in this video.
I uploaded 33 long-form videos and 111 short-form videos. I racked up 6.9 million views and 117,000 watch hours combined between my long-form videos and my shorts.
Wow.
6.9 million views. And how much did that earn him?
So in all of 2025, my total YouTube ad revenue was $4,471.
Now that might sound low for 6.9 million views, but don't forget that 111 of those videos were just YouTube shorts. So we need to strip those out because in terms of revenue, they barely move the needle. Adriel mentioned that the
They barely moved the needle.
majority of the $4,471 came from only 2 long-form videos that took off. Real estate and construction advertisers, mortgage companies, building suppliers, contractors are all willing to pay to reach that audience. And finally, at the very top end, you have the business, finance, and online education niche. And this is where the numbers get pretty staggering. Mark on Business made $877.36 in AdSense. And that was with his revenue suppressed due to an invalid traffic bug that was happening around that time. This artificially lowered his earnings. George Alexander, a creator education channel, tells it best himself.
You can see that when I got monetized, my RPM was $2.73, and this number is pretty low, but you can see that over the course of the next 6 months, my RPM slowly but surely improves all the way up to $6.58, which is crazy because that means I'm making 2 to 3 times more money for every 1,000 views that I get on my videos.
Ty Myers in the YouTube education niche
gained
50,000 views, which made him $218 in AdSense in his first 90 days, as well as $43 through supers and another $14 through memberships. Advertisers in this space include software companies, financial products, investment platforms, and online course providers. They're all competing for the same audience. In that niche, your viewers are people who are actively trying to make and or save money, and that is an incredibly valuable viewer to an advertiser, and RPMs are going to reflect that. But here's the thing most highest paying niche videos miss every time. Where you sit on this list is only half the story. You could have an S tier niche like finance, but still be in the D tier in terms of revenue, depending on the topic you cover. And that's what I want to look at next. How to...
Depending on the words you say out your mouth too. If you keep saying money and talking about money and saying the word money and talking about money, and then YouTube will think that your video is about money. So they'll start running ads on your video all about people making money. And we all know that the advertisers that's trying to sell money or anything to do with money, then YouTube pays more for the word money. See how many times I said money? They ain't gonna do it on this. We're not even monetized. So here we go.
videos on the same channel can have a 500% difference in pay. So far in this video, we've talked a lot about niches and your potential earning ceiling that you could hit depending on which niche you're in. The thing is, each video you post has its own ceiling in terms of revenue. It just kind of depends on what topic you're covering that determines how high that ceiling is. Let's take a look again at Jess and Dave, for example. 2 videos, same channel, same month. One video exploring Coron in the Philippines had an RPM of $4.87. The other, Inca Trail to Machu Picchu, had an RPM of $24.70. And to be clear, that's the RPM. That's the money that they're earning per 1,000 views on that video. This is a 5 times difference. 2 very similar videos attracting 2 very different audiences. So what's going on? Well, the people who are searching for Inca Trail are probably folks in the US, UK, and Australia, in which case those would be higher income countries which have higher advertising budgets and thus higher RPMs. Meanwhile, the video about Coron, which I'm not sure I'm saying correctly, is a destination that may attract viewers from Southeast Asia. Their advertiser budgets are just going to be lower and therefore RPMs are going to reflect that. But here's where it gets more interesting, because this isn't just a travel thing. That fitness channel we looked at earlier, Justin Lai, noticed something in his own analytics.
For my marathon videos, they tend to do really high. So you got $6 here, whereas my muscle up video is only on $2.
Okay.
So even though my marathon video has 19,000 views and my muscle up video has 42,000 views, the marathon video still pays me more because it's got a higher RPM. And I think that's super interesting because it means that views don't necessarily equal money.
Think about what you just said there. 42,000 views on one video, and it earned less than a video with 19,000 views on the same channel. So
42.
What's the difference? Well, marathon content attracted viewers who were researching running gear, race entries, nutrition supplements, basically higher value customers for advertisers. The general workout content may be more broad and attract a lot more new eyeballs to the channel, but because it's so broad, it's less commercially specific. Then you have Dallas and Jill, our Canadian filmmaking and photography channel.
My average cost per 1,000 as a filmmaking photography-ish channel is in the $15 to $16 per 1,000 views.
Dang.
That's Canadian dollars. Some videos that's as low as $8 per 1,000 views. And on the Flash video, which was the one video we got published the month after being monetized, it got as high as $42 per 1,000 views.
$8 Canadian on one video and $42 Canadian on another video on the same channel. And that is no small swing. This is a different earning bracket, and it all depends on what your video is about. So if you're looking at all this, my big takeaway here was basically that it's not enough to just pick a niche with a high RPM and hope for the best. The specific topic of each video you make determines how many advertisers are going to show up and how much money they're willing to shell out. And when you think about it, this makes a lot of sense when you consider how much money brand deals can go for on YouTube in general with some of the largest creators on the platform. There are creators who make thousands of dollars off of a brand deal where they take maybe 60 seconds out of their video, they look at the camera and they speak directly about one product for that entire minute. When it comes to hyper-specific targeted advertising, advertisers pay more money for that. So it stands to reason that even if you don't have a sponsorship on that video about your marathon, it's a very specific audience that you're targeting, and therefore the advertisers are going to pay more money to have ads on that video. Meanwhile, your more broad fitness content isn't going to do as well in terms of advertising dollars, but it could introduce a lot of new people to your channel. Meanwhile, a travel video about Peru is going to attract a different wallet than a travel video to the Philippines. Once you understand all this, it helps you stop focusing on your channel as one thing all by itself, and instead you can focus on how each video is an opportunity to target different advertisers and different viewers. YouTube can monetize your content, but only you can monetize your audience, because AdSense is real, it's great, it's genuinely there, and it's like passive money for showing up and doing the work that day. But it's not the full picture. If you want to set up your channel the correct way for monetization beyond just AdSense, I'm going to encourage you to watch this video next, which will set you off on the right path when it comes to getting monetized in the first place.
That's interesting. Most definitely. I had to slow his channel down. One of the things that you got to realize, man, is number one, I would write out a list of everything that's obvious. In order to grow a channel, you have to keep uploading. That's obvious. People say, I upload 2 videos a week. okay, we upload 5 videos a day. Huh? Imagine somebody uploading one video every day like clockwork, and YouTube is loving that channel and the algorithm. This is what I teach. I teach you how to use the formula. All you gotta do is use Uncle Mike's formula, and you can take days off. You don't have to sit here and do this every day like I do. But I'm trying to do so many different things. My point is this. I have a formula that actually shows you step by step how to record your videos, how to edit your videos, how to upload your videos, how to schedule them so you can drop one video every day. And it's not a burnout session. I ain't talking about working 20 hours, 27 hours a day. I'm not talking about doing that. I'm talking about what a lot of the expert YouTube channels are doing. I have 2 videos that hit over 1 million views. You know, I when I sat down, I didn't know they was gonna hit 1 million views. I don't focus and concentrate on the algorithm. I don't even know those numbers. I didn't even know those numbers was back there. Only thing I do is I know for a fact that the algorithm works off of videos. You got to feed it. You got to keep feeding it videos. The more videos you feed it, the faster your channel grows. Who don't know that part? If you don't know that part, you're in the wrong game. I don't care what social media you're on. The more videos you put up, the faster that channel grows. Now, or social media, TikTok or whatever it is. Now, one thing that I will write down that I know is this. Shorts make less money, even TikTok said it. Instagram, Facebook, if it's a short form of the content, period, it makes less money. The long form content makes more money. I'm over here recording videos that's over an hour long. 2 hours long sometimes. Like, oh Lord, I gotta sit here for a whole hour. But this is the thing that tripped me out is this. Everybody want to do this, but don't nobody want to invest to get clarity. So they guess at it. So keep on guessing. You got all this free information out here while you're guessing. You're not going to start getting clarity until you pay, because people who pay attention. I shouldn't have said that last part, but that's what got me to get into a YouTube course. Once I got into the YouTube course, I started watching and studying and looking around and everything. And I started paying attention to learning one thing at a time, another thing and another thing. Get clarity. That way you get some structure on doing this. And then you get into a rhythm and you got direction. And your channel will start blowing up. I'm gonna get on up out of here. If you want to know how to get 1,000 subscribers, I recommend you watch this video right here. Next. Y'all take it light, take it slow. Tell them Uncle Mike told you so. Peace out.